We want to talk about Dublin Airport because they've been given the green light to charge people for dropping off and collecting friends and family. Fingal County Council granted planning permission to Dublin Airport Authority to install infrastructure to create a paid drop-off and pick-up zone. The airport says it's a move as part of their drive towards sustainability, they say. Travel and aviation journalist Eoghan Corry joins me. Eoghan, good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
Now, they may say they're just doing what other airports in other capital cities do, but it's not universal that people are charged for a simple pick-up or drop-off.
Oh, not at all. And it's a bit of a plague. It's every airport has looked at it. They've scratched their heads. It usually comes down to revenue. It will be dressed up for other reasons. Usually traffic management, sustainability has been a bigger one in the last couple of years. But every airport's looked at it. Dublin, the difference this morning is Dublin has got the go-ahead at the second attempt to charge. They're going to put in realign the roads a little bit, and you will be charged for access to the two terminals, Terminal 1 and Terminal 2.
Now, other airports, Heathrow, do they charge a drop-off fee? Because I know some airports allow a very limited drop-off time. I'm thinking, say, of Faro, which I've driven to, and if you drive in, you pick up a ticket, and if you're out within a few minutes, when you check out your ticket, there's no charge. On the other hand, if you stay too long, you will be charged.
More or less, yeah. Kiss and fly is the term that they use. Two of the biggest airports in Europe that listeners will be familiar with, Amsterdam and Frankfurt, do not charge at all. But the English airports, almost all of them have started charging at this stage. And Belfast International charge £1 for a drop-off for a couple of years now. Belfast City doesn't. Heathrow, as you mentioned, it's £5 for a drop-off. Manchester, it's more or less the same. Glasgow, Edinburgh, £4 for a drop-off. Birmingham is £3. What happens really is one airport in a jurisdiction brings it in and everybody follows on. What they have all done, though, is something that Dublin are definitely going to do, the ones that do charge, is that you will have the option of the free drop-off. And that free drop-off is going to be in the red car park area, which means you get the car park shuttle, which is very frequent, to the terminal. And not the biggest deal in the world, particularly when the red car park is closer to the main motorway network.
Now, the idea of sustainability, which is the argument being advanced, the extraordinary thing, I suppose, is that we don't have rapid transit. We have buses to Dublin Airport. We have air coaches for some who are on the routes, but we don't have an underground. We don't have a metro where, Heathrow can say, look, there's loads of ways of getting to Heathrow from pretty much anywhere in London once you connect to either the express or the regular underground. We don't have those options for Dublin.
Absolutely. And not just Heathrow. Every single European capital city has a rail or a rapid rail link to the city centre. Lisbon was the exception, but it got the Lisbon equivalent of the Lewis or a light rail system, which links the airport. The coach system works very well, actually. We have 7 or 8 of them at this stage. We have Air Coach that you mentioned, the Dublin Bus, Dublin Express, the Bus Air and the City Link, Go Ahead Ireland, Go Bus, TransLink. The real problem, sadly the airport hopper, as far as I know, hasn't returned. But the real problem with people coming into the country is they're not really familiar with the network of bus systems. And that's the disadvantage an airport like Frankfurt Hahn has, for example, against the main Frankfurt airport. When you land, you're linked in to the main network, railway network of the country, and that is true all through Europe. It's probably a one-up for Kerry that Farran 4 has a better link to the national rail network than Dublin has. But I'm sure a few listeners will ask, do we have a national rail network in the first place?
It's interesting. A friend of mine was trying to make a connection in Amsterdam airport, and there was some kerfuffle, and he missed the connection and went back. He made it to the gate and they wouldn't let him on. Went back to the desk, and the woman behind the desk said, "Where were you heading?" "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hang on a second." She exchanged his ticket for a rail ticket, told them, go downstairs, you'll catch the train. You might be even at your destination before you would have arrived by plane, and then, public transport connection to your destination.
Absolutely. Amsterdam is on a rapid rail link.
Where they're organised.
Amsterdam, Charles de Gaulle, Frankfurt, they're all on rapid rail. To a large extent, it's easier, very often easier in Germany to get a train, and you're there quicker by the time you've done the waiting for bags and all of that. A lot of people also flying into Barracas. It's not on the rapid rail, but there is a metro to the rapid rail, and you can get through most of Spain. That huge rapid rail system that they built quite rapidly in the last 8 years. So rail is a big option right across Europe. As you pointed out, we're charging for drop-off for sustainability, but there isn't the same public transport options in Dublin. It's a bit of a shock for anyone coming from mainland Europe to arrive in Dublin and find that the facilities they take for granted are not available.
Yeah, and of course, people are thinking of taking public transport, be it bus Éireann or air coach or whatever it might be, if it's available to you. You've got one little wheelie. Many people have much more luggage than that, and trying to negotiate, say if you're heading off for the summer somewhere to work or whatever, or emigrating, you're going to have 3 or 4 bags, not just one little wheelie.
Absolutely. The amount of bags proportionally we carry has shrunk hugely over the last 20 years, largely because of baggage charges by the likes of Ryanair. But you're absolutely right. There are instances where you do need a lot of bags, and public transport it isn't really suitable for that. Getting into the terminal will still be possible. Remember, they haven't put a charge on what a figure on what they will charge, and it's also likely that taxi services will be given free access through. Some of the airports charge the taxis as well. It does raise a question then for Uber and things like that, but a lot of these will have to be ironed out. It's going to be 6 or 7 months before they introduce it. Passengers don't like it, airports love it, and finally Dublin Airport has got the green light to do it.
Yeah, there's some talk of people who are suffering from disabilities. I presume if the car has a disability sticker, they might be exempt. But anyway,
facilities for disabilities are there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Eoghan, thank you very much for joining us, and that is Eoghan Corry. We'll have news.
Always a great pleasure, Pat.